All right, I don't do webinars. But wait a minute, you may have seen me in a few recently. Well, let me address that. My name is Patricia Regier with Regier Education. I consider no matter what that I am providing a learning experience, not just a passive sit back lecture. And a lot of times webinar platforms make it really hard to interact. So I'm going to give you some tips of how I could make it engaging, and just some thoughts around it, if you are going into a webinar platform. So tips for engagement. First of all, start with high energy. Be present. That everything is about you and the camera and everyone watching it, on the other side, whether it's live or the recording. So definitely consider those differences. Sometimes I'm considering that recording, and it's easy to consider only that. So those pauses can feel uncomfortable, but the learning experience live, there's some different ways to pull your audience in, to turn them into participants, even with a webinar platform. So often a webinar platform means you can't see anyone, you can't hear them. And maybe it's as limited to chat. And that's kind of also like a live stream experience, as well. So, and I'll link that video too for some tips for live streaming that I wanted to share with you. All right. So one thing I need to watch for myself too is how much I use my hands and the camera. That's something that I just thought of. So high energy and interaction, build it in as much as you can. So giving me a like, or on LinkedIn, there's other, clap and light bulbs. On YouTube, it's, giving the video like, but there's live chat too. And you, depending on what platform you're on, you might not be on any of those because you're within the webinar platform and it's exclusive to those watching, as well. So build it in, whether it's emojis, likes, comments in chat, questions in chat, address them right away, or say, oh, I see your comments, I'll get right back to that one. Have a team member be tracking questions and comments. You can say, give me an exclamation mark if you feel like that's an important part of this, this topic. So build in as much interaction as possible, and working with a great host. I was part of a couple of learning days recently, and the host was amazing in drawing out the energy in between the speakers. So it's not just flat, one-sided, not monotone. So working with someone that kind of helps beef that up, your intro, and all of that, can help too. I had two experiences recently, and both were great, but one I felt even better about. And part of it was because I was feeling the energy from the group, even through that webinar platform. So, a couple things too is thinking about the learning experience journey before, during, and after. So at the beginning, if there's that, it's being recorded, be, ready to go. That people have the links ahead of time if that's in your control, that someone's looking after the tech or anyone having problems or questions, that you're able to focus on the content and your participants, during and later, thinking about the people watching it afterwards. If you're asking a question, just say those who are live here. And if you're watching it with the replay, that's awesome too. Put it in the comments below. Just people feel there. A lot of times I'll ask, especially if I'm offering something for free, that I get a copy of the recording, that how long they're going to have it on their platform, who has access. A quote is always really a nice way to say thank you, to appreciate the time and effort. And there's a lot of effort that goes into learning experiences. It's not just here's the slide deck, want to put in the energy, put in the time, tweaking it for that group. How long is it going to be before the recording's getting out to everybody, or that you'll get a copy of the recording, how you can use it? Is there going to be a follow-up email? Do you have so the thinking about that during is often what we're thinking about. And so during too, I make sure I have a QR code or link and different things ready for a resource that people can ask you questions and follow up with you, giving all of that built in, making sure that you're allowed to do that. It's might not be able to sell anything, but that people are getting that added value and opportunities as well. Engaging with my energy, using great visuals that are inclusive, describing them, that it's an accessible learning experience. I often will ask, is the closed captioning turned on or an option, to make sure that as well, that when I'm sharing screen or something, that I'm sharing sound too, if I'm able to do sound effects and engage in that part. So especially with webinars, so that even in this recording that I'm sharing the sound, not just through my mic, sometimes I'll ask a question and I'll play this, and especially on a webinar, it sounds like this. Yep. It can sound like that when you're not getting anything. On some platforms like MS Teams or WebEx, the culture is to be off camera. So that's like webinar type style too. So if you're in a platform that has a poll or a Mentimeter or AHA slides, whatever you're using, that you can have a QR code and the link and then have it live, a word cloud, or you're seeing the poll change, or you're sharing back, 50% of you feel this. In a recent workshop about a pick your own adventure participant directed, I gave the choice. Do you want me to show my second camera and show you my office, or do you want me to show you the avatar option? And I'll do that right now too. And it was 50-50%. So I wasn't expecting that. So I ended up doing both. But, anything you can to give that choice, that engagement. If it's a webinar style where you're not able to bring people onto camera, this is what I'm talking about for this context as well. And a follow-up evaluation too, that is that built in? Can you get the results? How quickly are you going to get the results? You want some of that too. And then that wrap-up resource follow-up, that you have all of that too. So those are some ways to make it not a webinar. It still might be that presentation lecture style. Some are more restrictive for engagement than others. It definitely feeds a facilitator and speaker to have something. Otherwise, like right now, I'm bringing this all to you and it's only a recording. And the way I'm building engagement into that is put a comment below. What do you think? And I respond to those comments. Give this video a like. That's the way to engage with me and fuel that I create these. And a lot of times the best fuel for me is also give me something that's a problem you're having when I'm working with clients, and I create a video very quickly because I'm wanting to serve and help. So let me know, does this help you? I really want to hear from you. Otherwise, it's that flat experience when I'm not getting anything, and not even the views on YouTube lately. The views are coming through the shorts and not these longer videos. That should I keep doing these? Let me know. Does this help you as well? Share it with other people. Comment. All of this then builds the profile that more people will see it. So I appreciate that, to let me know. Do I keep making these? And thanks for watching this or listening or reading the additional blog and article down below. Follow me on different platforms. When you are subscribed here on YouTube, then you get a notification, because sometimes I add an extra short, or if you're following me on the other platforms, it's a reel or TikTok or whatever it is. But I put a lot into the YouTube channel. That's my first spot that I go to and share extra tips when something's come up. So if you're subscribed, then you find out, and that's really a non-pushy way to access great information, I hope. So thanks again. My name is Patricia Regier with Regier Education, helping you turn an audience into participants, especially in the webinar context. Thanks for checking this out.